It was early morning. Even the sun was not up. It was early dawn as I walked from my hotel to the nearest wall on Galle Fort. Deep in the clouds, I can see that the sun was hidden behind the flurry of orange clouds. Beyond the wall, I can see the expansive sea. As I walked, I saw so many interesting buildings. I took their pictures. In the morning dawn, everything looked so surreal. Even the walls, which had cannons, the stone walls, even the little sand and the rocks that were there in the early morning, they looked beautiful. I also saw certain peacock, which is very rare to find in this time of the day, but there peacocks were roaming. The sea was definitely a bit more agitated in the morning, and there was so much of beauty in those waves. Far to a small hill, I can see the cloud changing its color from deep orange to red to light orange. And on reaching to one of the four towers, I saw the sea and the beautiful view. This is the view that everybody wants to see. I thought it was a church and a lighthouse. Turns out it's a mosque. But more than that, I think I was mesmerized by the sea, and I was eagerly waiting to sun to come up. But as I waited, that view of the sea waves, the dawn sky, the floating clouds, and the waves hitting the big rocks, it was all like a dream come true for me. Yes, it was a dream. Seeing the lighthouse, the fort walls, and then going back, looking back at the sea and the sky. It was this kind of sunrise that I always wanted to see. I think I had it there captured in that small moment, and standing on the tower, seeing the whole expansive sea around and the far coastline where buildings dotted and these beautiful villas, which were colonial villas, seeing them and then seeing to the sea, I had a kind of pause. I spent a bit more time to think through and to feel how those waves look different from different views, different colors. How the waves that were hitting those rocks were looking so beautiful and so dark at the same time. At one point I had fear, but also the fear was not of probably the sea, the rocks. Probably the fear was that probably sun will not come up and I can't see. It was still 6:15, 6:20. But the most important thing was the birds chirping at one side and the sea waves on the other. That was the calm that soothed a bit of my fear. I think I was not thinking much. Deep down somewhere, I was observing a fisherman who was trying to take his catch. He was spreading the net and trying to capture the fish. For me, time has kind of slowed down in the city, in the humdrum of city, in the life's toil of job. Somewhere I missed nature, and there, amidst the sea, I was closer to nature. I look back at that picture postcard moment, which I've seen in so many pictures of Galle Fort. This is what everywhere I see, and capturing at that moment, I think it was mesmerizing. I think that's what you want to travel for. You see a picture, at least I do. Others go for looking at different tourist sites. I go to experience those moments, those pictures that I see, seeing that and much more. To see that fisherman as he walked, I felt it was deep sea. That was the fear I had, I guess. But through the waves, as that fisherman walked through to his net to see what he's caught, somehow I also got confidence. Probably life is not just about staying at your home, doing your job, living your life, but also exploring, traveling. And in that middle of the sea, somewhere it summed up my life where I also am waiting. I'm waiting for that sunrise. I can see that small rays of sun in between clouds and the hills hiding, and then again showing and then hiding. And the orangish glow hue that was there. Looking at the view of that nice sea and also of the watchtower, it was time to move on. The sun was coming in slowly, and the sky with that mesmeric smoky cloud, even in hiding, it showed that there was a beauty that was hidden behind those clouds that was unearthly. Probably one of my best shots I've ever taken. And then I saw a crow. I have not seen crow in a long time, but seeing there was interesting. And then I was back to watching the sky, the sea, the hill for the sun. And I seeped in everything that I can, for this was the moment I will remember forever in my life. Those water, those waves, they were a dream. I don't know if we need meditation. Looking at that sky, the sea, and the sea line, the horizon, at some level, that brought the deep peace with me. It was like meditating in nature. Then I started walking towards the tower and seeing those historic buildings. Especially, I liked those curved clay buildings, and also I kept on seeing as the sun came behind the clouds with its glow, majestic glow of 1,000 horses. The cannon against the sky was awesome. And walking on the wall, looking at these beautiful Portuguese and Dutch style houses, and then this particular mosque. I thought it was probably a colonial church, which later has been converted into mosque. And then there was this peacock walking by just lazily. This sums up the whole thing about this place, is that morning walkers walking with their own speed, the sea at one side, and then this early morning waves coming gave me that pause that we don't see in our city life. And time was, I think, taken a lot of pause in that full moment. Each time the waves, the sea was pulling me out, and I was always looking back at the sea and the fort walls, those rocks, because somehow that has captured me more than the scenic beauty of Galle Fort. All those historic buildings, they were nice, but somehow the view of the sea was the calmness I wanted, and the beauty of the sky, the so many hues. I think it was what I came for. I came for a sunrise, and I saw it as it unfolded before me. And nothing can be dramatic than the sunrise. It took its time, and it showed so many hues of those majestic clouds. These were not puff of probably wool or cotton, but rather they were waves in themselves in the sky. I think there's so many nice cannons and buildings. The white color in them, I think they made it on purpose to still capture that beauty of the time. The roads which had small rocks, which were rock paved roads, they reminded me of a bygone era. Also, this 1938 light tower was majestic, reminder of a time where life was not fast, when the sunrise one could enjoy. Going to the beach slowly, I seeped in that moment where it was not a sandy beach, but a beach where you had so many shells, the shells of time. The waves in front of me hitting the beach on the rocks again had that same calm feeling. And in front of me there was the sun that was coming from the clouds like a majestic chariot. In my language, there is a folklore that there is this god, sun god, he on his chariot of so many horses comes out in the morning, and through the clouds he shows his majestic glory. In that moment, in the between the clouds as the sunrise came out, I had that same feeling. From those small tree, there was a small pagoda on top of that cloud, and then the sun. Seemed the sun was also bowing to Buddha and asking me to meditate in that moment, meditate in the nature, meditate on that sandy beach and feel the waves of the sea. Feel good, for it took a long time to me to come here. And when nobody's there, just take in that moment and feel good. As I saw the shells, they were of different sizes. I felt like I can build a treasure island out of those shells. They were so beautiful. Obviously, one has to be careful walking on them. I wondered if one can take bath in them, but everything was so clean. Even the water was pristine, if not fully blue, but it was clean, which is rarity to get now. And then there was this shade, the trees that were there adorning the beach. They definitely gave shade in the morning, added to the beauty, but also I was sure in the day they'll give nice shade. So seeing the trees, the birds chirping, and then looking at the beach, I took my time. I stood there taking photos of all those moments and then went back to seeing the sun putting its rays onto the sea waves. Obviously, that was that chariot. It was showing its glow onto the sea water. The water glowing with with those rays of the sun. And as the sun came, it was beautiful. Nothing like I've seen ever before. I've seen few sunrises, but in that moment, definitely is beautiful. And then there were small crabs, the shells. As I was saying, those shells was not only there were shells, there were also, um, I think, um, uh, uh, what we call them. Well, let me go back to seeing the sun. The waves, the sun felt like it was dusk or dawn. It was that hanging moment there. Even I was not sure where I was. I was somewhere stuck in time, seeing those waves and taking in the whole beauty of that orange, yellow, and between those clouds, something kind of a golden glow coming out. And there somewhere boats were going by, motorboats, probably catching the catch of the day. And these few boats, that particular sun coming slowly, and then that uh, hill which had a lot of greenery, it was mesmerizing. Yes, probably I would want to come back again. I want to see the sunrise again. It's once in a lifetime. The waves hitting those rocks, those rays falling onto the water and the beach, the seashells were beautiful. I think I've been repeating myself, but I didn't had anything. My mind was clear. My heart, all the pain, all the suffering, everything was gone. It was gone to the clouds. There was only brightness and hope that I wish others can experience. Come here, come to Galle Fort, spend those time. It's once in a lifetime experience. There was fear, anxiety, but in that small moment, seeing the sun and sunrise, I think all those fear were gone. With so much nice people and such mesmerizing views, I just felt I did a right decision, probably best decision of my life. I don't know when I'll go anywhere or see this kind of a view, but whatever I was seeing, I was definitely liking it. So take that plunge, go somewhere. And somewhere, like those waves, we take few steps forward. And like those small shells that adorn the beach, we leave behind memories. I also saw the same few peacock on the beach as well. Very rare. I think that was also another great moment for me. Gradually, as I saw the boats leaving, and I also saw the sun coming with its full glow, It was time for me to move on. I saw a one last look to the greenery around me on the beach. There was this nice little cabin, I think, to change clothes. And then I said bye to the peacock. I just waited some more time to see if it will open up its feathers, but didn't get the chance.
I think I see the.
Far somewhere I can see the city of Galle. It was nice in the morning, and as the glow came more, I think I said bye bye sun, bye bye sunrise, bye bye beach, and it was time to go back into the city. Sorry, into the Galle Fort. And I came back. People were coming back to the beach. I slowly got up the stairs to the tower and then started looking at all those nice buildings. And there were so many nice view all along that particular beach line. There were beautiful houses, which definitely was like a dream to have. And then along the beach there were so many nice trees, but also giving a nice shade through the path on the wall itself. There were very nice restaurants and I think cafes which you can find. Even their banks were so beautiful. They seemed so colonial and old. Then there was this very big warehouse kind of building which had so many doors, and every door was probably some kind of establishment. And those dilapidated buildings with those nice lights were also very beautiful. And even the police barrack 1927 was nice. I slowly walked, I guess, through that big warehouse where there were restaurants, and finally I reached to I think a very nice post box. This post box really reminded from my forefathers. And then there was this courthouse, and in front of it was a huge courtyard, um, which had very huge, I guess, I don't know, it was a banyan tree or which tree. It was a huge tree, and there was some preparation going on. And then there I can find certain small houses. They were very beautiful houses. Yeah, this was probably banyan tree. Then I hit another piece of big block, which was kind of the entrance, another entrance to the fort. It was also fort walls, covered in yellow. And then I crossed it, and the roads looked something out of Europe or Portugal maybe. There were big warehouse kinds of Portuguese buildings, and there was a museum. There was food, place for food, and then my eyes went to this kind of a place, but looked like a small port, probably fish port. Just walked to them, and there was this probably a place where they collected fish, a nice kind of a house. And from there on, I kind of looked at the sea. I don't know, should I call it as a platform or but definitely there were so many of them, and they were like in front of houses, backside of houses of buildings. These extended to the sea, and at the end of it, that small kind of, I would say, port, uh, probably embankment. There were a few people using their fishing poles, capturing fish. Somebody was also taking a dip. Again, as I said, damn beautiful. So it was time quickly to wrap up. The city was quite visible from here. The city outside is quite developed, as I can see. But still, there was this two worlds, then Galle city, and then looking back, there was the Galle Fort and the buildings around it, which seemed like they are like stuck in a time capsule, maybe out from Europe. So that was the beautiful thing about Galle, where at one moment you can be living in any typical city of Sri Lanka, and the other end you were probably living in a time like 18th century or 19th century, or probably like early 1900s, um, and in front of you you had the sea that saw it all evolve from so many hundreds of years, right from the Portuguese to now. And then I had this Kolia Kande soup. It was very interesting. There people probably morning don't drink tea but drink Kolia Kande soup. And I slowly walked through the same wall. So it was kind of a probably museum, the walls, and then there was museums. This museum should see, and there were a lot of old buildings as well. This is something from 1683. I mean, I can't believe it, but there it was, a very old building, and this is one of the oldest churches. I don't know, it is Protestant church. What? Then here is the post office. Unfortunately, it was all renovating. This bell, the library, 1832. Oh, everything was seeped in. Probably some kind of history. So I slowly walked. Even the school that they had was some kind of probably few decades old. There, far there, I saw the watchtower. Again, I was at the main entrance of the fort. Saw those nice Japanese kei carts and vintage cars. Slowly walked to my hotel, and that's how I pretty much spend my morning, seeing the sunrise and getting ready to take my family probably for the day. Thank you. Watch the next episodes of this trip. Bye.